welcome back from that commercial break. This is Family Hour. Today is our Monday edition, and today, of course, we are talking about mental wellness using biblical principles. And of course, the biblical principles we started with are in Philippians chapter 4 and verse 8. We talked about quite a number. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, and that is where we broke from. We are with Canon Alice Damulira. Canon, before the break, we were now going to whatever is commendable.
Yeah.
And let us start from there.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever is commendable. Many of us, where, for example, I'll talk about the school space where we are. When we celebrating students, we celebrate number 1 to number 5. We celebrate, those who are doing well, powerful performers. And rarely do we look at students who have invested heavily in actually becoming better. Many of them just surprise us. And I'll give you an example. When the results come, and if you, maybe because we never do that survey, but if we went around schools and did the survey, there are many students who shock their teachers for having excelled, right? Yeah. And then we get back to ourselves and said, how come if all the celebrated children probably didn't perform as well as those who were average and were never recognized, right? So we get to a level where we are intentional, consistently intentional, and look at their students who are putting their best foot forward. Now, let's talk about the parents and the record that is coming home. You're getting this report. Can we, for the first time, focus on the efforts that have been invested for this child to show improvement in their performance, so that it becomes commendable? The effort invested is something that is commendable. So that a child grows up knowing that if I put my best foot forward, it's not only that I've put my best foot forward, my parents recognize it. They see the efforts. Okay, last term, they were the 43rd. This time round, they are the 35th out of 170. Can I start off by celebrating that? Yes. And I say, you've done well. I am proud of you. I can see here there is marked improvement. What did you do right? So that you can maintain what you did right. Why? Because you expect them to be the 4th, 1st, or 5th. To be, if John is in the first 5, why aren't you in the first 5?
What do you always do at school?
What do I do at school? I've paid the school fees. No. Let's get back into ourselves.
What don't I give you?
What don't I give you? I give you everything. I'm always on the road. No. The fact that they were the 45th or the 43rd, today they're the 35th. Sit down and do an self-examination. Moses, what did you do right to become the 35th? Why? Because you want clarity of purpose and clarity of thought. This child will know, if I do this, I excel. If I do this, I excel. In other words, his academic excellence ceases to be a sprint. It becomes a marathon. Every day they're becoming better. Every day they're developing the great habits. Every day. Now, today they are 35th. Tomorrow they're going to be probably the 29th. Then before they are the 17th. Because they are practicing the habits that are helping them excel. So, when we are talking about, is it commendable? Can you approve those efforts? Can you approve that investment? So that the praise, I say, I am very proud of you because I can see marked improvement in your performance. Let's go back to the journey of the results for the individual subjects. Where have they improved? You realize that many students will stagnate in a particular subject. They're always doing it very well. They get 80, 83, 82, because they have never developed the right habits to move from 82. They're always using the past experience to engage in the present challenges, and that is in error. Somebody should be able to consistently show improvement. I get D1 every day. if I'm getting 83, I should move to 90. I should move to 95. Because I now have clarity of thought that if I do this well, then I'm going to excel. So whatever is commendable, how can we help our children to exercise the correct habits as they're pursuing their dreams? Yeah.
And of course, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these
That's
things.
it. Is it praiseworthy? Is it excellent? And that's where we're going to start from. If it's praiseworthy, you should be able to sit and inform yourself as a parent. This is my child. What are the things that they do so well? Celebrate them for the things they do so well. It is powerful, Edwin, for somebody to recognize, and this does not matter, whether you're a child, whether you're a young adult, or whether you're an old person. I can see these days parents where children stand up to celebrate them. I want to celebrate my mom for having done ABCD. I want to celebrate, and some people get offended if they're not celebrated, especially at graduation day. Hey, how much I labored for that child. I invested in that. This is your auntie speaking. But somehow, because of the excitement of that day, you forgot them. And they cannot come to terms that we are not able to praise them. Can we sit down and do an understudy of who our children are? What they have done well, that we can choose to praise them for what they've done well. And I'll tell you the power of praise. When you do something well, and people recognize you're doing it well, even what you're not going to, well, you're not in position to do well, it becomes a gift. If somebody tells you, Edrine, if you can do this better, it becomes a gift because you are aware that there are things that I do very well. I'm ready to improve on what I'm not doing very well. So that is the power of praise. Now, if we understand that as parents, it should start with our thought process. The more I celebrate, when we were young, when my mom wanted you to do an activity for her, she would look at the little thing that you have done well, let's say washing the dishes, and she will praise you. Edwin, you know how to wash dishes. You are powerful. Actually, when you clean those saucepans, somebody can look at it like a mirror. I don't seem to understand. If you could actually sweep the compound, just the way you do the dishes, and you'll be celebrated. You'll be a superstar. After the dishes, you get
run very fast.
To sweep the compound. After the compound, you are powerful. When it comes to ironing,
no one can challenge you.
If you can wash the dishes excellently, you sweep the compound excellently, you iron excellent, I am telling you, this world, they're looking at a hero. You go, you pick the clothes. That is the power of praise. She knows very well that she has 2 or 3 of you to do all her tasks. How does she get to have her tasks done in that day?
With self-motivation.
With self-motivation. She just praises you. And that is where we are not saying, I'm praising you just for the sake of it. I am building mental wellness. For you to have an understanding, if I can do this well, I can do this well, I can do this well. Before you know it, you're consistently doing something well. You become excellent at it. Before you know it, it becomes effortless for you. So tomorrow, you wake up, wash the dishes, clean the compound, and the clothes. And before you know, she has the 3 of you, but you're doing her house chores and she's celebrating you.
And you never feel any burden.
Any burden. Because there's somebody cheering you. We cheer our children in so many things. When they are little, we tell them how beautiful they are, how great they look. Can we transfer that? Even now, they need our approval more than when they were children.
Wow. So that is one
Whatever
scripture.
Is excellent.
Whatever is excellent. We get to another one now.
We get to another one now. Romans 12. Verse
Romans
2.
12.
And probably that, we can look at the others later on.
Romans
12.
12.
Yeah, we can read verse 1 and verse 2.
Romans 12, I appeal to you, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good, acceptable, and perfect.
I will anchor in verse 2. It talks about renewal of
The mind.
Now, each time we make the choice today, like we go for service, you take your car for service because you don't want it to break down. Yeah? You take, what else can I say? Whenever you want nourishment, you do the right thing to make sure that there is refreshment and nourishment and so on. Now, we are not talking about anything else when it comes to refreshment or nourishment. We're talking about your mind. Your mind is the crucible of where things are generated. Peter Drucker said, I think he's an economist, he says that the best way to predict the future is to create it. Today, Edrine, there's a conversation you listened into. It informed your decisions. You created your mental picture, and you're working towards that. Anything else that does not conform to that mental picture does not fit into the puzzle. And that's it. So, we're speaking now about the destinies of our own children. We're talking about, yes, probably this is where you were born. This is your identity, but this is where you want to be. So even if I'm coming from this background, and this is who I am, but this is where I'm going. So it informs you that on a daily, you renew your mind. So that whatever you are thinking of builds with clarity your destiny. And that is what we talk about transformational intelligence. You keep telling yourself, no, this is not who I am. No, this is not where I'm going. No, this is not where I'm meant to be. When we were young and we had one university, Makerere University, each one of us spoke, I have to get to Makerere. Whatever you did on a daily informed you that you have to go to the university, that you have to have a degree. Why? Because that degree dictated the future for yourself. Now, when we go back to, we are presenting our bodies as living sacrifices to the Lord and so on. Beautiful. But it is dangerous for you to imagine that God is going to take action on your behalf to execute, to give you the future. The future He's holding, you have to reach out to it. So when you renew your mind, whatever obstacles are there, you say there are powerful things that are ahead of me. Whatever challenge is happening now ceases to matter. Because like an athlete, when you have an athlete, they are not mindful of whether the limbs are moving or they are looking at the finishing line. So can we focus on the finishing line? Renew your mind. Yes, people are shouting, people are saying so and so run faster. Maybe I have John this way, I have Mary this way. They're running faster than me. But I as Moses, I'm focusing on my finishing line. And I gather my thoughts, my body, my limbs, and they're all speaking my destiny. So you begin to renew your mind. You don't allow distractions, to deter you from becoming that person. Now that is where the power of renewing the mind every day. I love that gentleman who said, stand before that mirror and for 5 minutes, speak. Speak. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be this. Speak it. Think it. Speak it. And then he said, before you know it, it is so conformed in your mind that whatever does not fit in the puzzle ceases to matter. And that is it, the power of renewing the mind. I want you to read that last part of the verse.
The last part of verse 2?
Yeah.
Do not be conformed to the
standards of the world.
Yes.
Yeah, and we all know that the world has standards, right? But the world may have created its standards. But what are your standards as you? Your standard will inform your belief system. Your standard will inform your values. What are you living for? So that is your standard. You make it average, that's what it will be. You make it up, That's what it will be. And I'll tell you, many people are afraid that if I have my personal growth and development journey, and I'm going up there, oh, people are going to say she's proud. No. I'm aiming there. If you want to interact, please, can you walk the journey so that we are there on the mountaintop together? Because when you're at the mountaintop, you have a beautiful view of what life has to offer. And you dictate, I'll have this, it's a buffet. Yeah, so what are your standards? Do not be conformed to the standards of the world. I will tell you, if we are going to present our bodies as living sacrifices to God, what are God's standards for our lives? I always inform myself and even friends and even my students, God's standards speak excellency. Yeah. So your values should speak excellency. And then I want the last part, the very last part.
But be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect.
What is good,
acceptable, and perfect.
When you have the standards of God, it is always good, it is always acceptable, it is always perfect. And that's it.
Wow.
Those are God's
principles
and standards. Standards. Is it good? Hey, the Rotarians have it. They say, is it beneficial to all concerned? Will it bring goodwill and better? Do you see how it goes? It is up there.
Yes.
So when somebody is speaking for themselves, it is important to say, wait a minute, is this good? Does it inform goodness in me? Then is it acceptable? That even when I'm 80 years, I will forever be proud of the things that I did. But now this goes back to how our parents are going to manage our mental wellness. Instead of blasting a child or bringing them down or body shaming them or, rubbishing them, speak to them. Is it good? According to you, is it good? When you look at it, is it good? Is it acceptable? Does it inform the perfect will of God for your life? You are more than that. There are probably mistakes you would have made in life, but you find somebody who believes in you and walks up to you. I'll just share my personal example. One time, we're at my place of work where I was employed, and we had this one colleague of ours who used to use a lot of foul language. And so one time she made a comment, and that comment, much as she didn't mention my name, I knew it was directed to me. So I said, you know what? There's some people who need to be sized up, and I'm going to size her up just to help her put her in her place, so that she knows that as she's rubbishing. Some people were even old enough to be her fathers, but she would use that foul language against them. And for me, that was unacceptable because that's not the way I was raised. So I got one of these elderly people in the organization, and I speak to him because I feel like, no, this is not right. I had taken it upon myself to size her up. And this is what the gentleman said. You were raised so well. You were way above that. I had not done anything. I had just shared my thoughts. I was more embarrassed, and I kept asking myself, what if I'd gone deeper into the action? Even up to now, I'll be carrying the embarrassment. Yes. But he saved the day. He saved my day by telling me, you are better than that. So can we have parents or guardians or friends informing our children, do not fall short. You are better than that.
Another one, and probably that's
last one is 2 Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7.
2 Timothy.
We can read 2 Timothy, but let's also read Proverbs 4:23. I love Proverbs.
2 Timothy.
2 Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7.
Chapter 1, verse 7 says that. For God gave us a spirit, not of fear, but of power and love and self-control.
That's it. We shouldn't be afraid of anything. And I want to tell us parents, you look at your child, you say when they were in O-level, they were performing very well, but now they're in senior 6. I had the dream of them becoming a doctor. Do not be subjected to fear. You know, God did not give us a spirit of fear.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that paralyzes us the most is the spirit of fear. Have an understanding. How best can we approach this together with my child so that we can be able to manage that fear? Why? Fear substitutes faith. You either have faith in your child that they're going to excel, or you nurture fear and actually experience the consequences of fear. Because fear speaks incapacity, incapability, inability. You know, you are there and you cannot put anything to good use, putting it plainly. But we are not supposed to be subjected to fear, but wisdom. Who gives us wisdom? The Bible says that whoever lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who does not deny us, giving us wisdom. You know? And the fear of God is the beginning of all wisdom. So, and when we talk about wisdom, we are talking about application of knowledge. Yeah? When Daniel was subjected to, when they were going to be killed by King Nebuchadnezzar, he told him that when he said they were going to be killed together with the magicians and so on, because they had failed to interpret the dream, he told them, I want you to tell me the dream and also be able to interpret it. And Daniel asks, give me an opportunity. Please do. Give me an opportunity. And he goes and prays. But when the angel came, he said, Daniel, I have come to give you skill in understanding. Yeah? I'm coming to give you wisdom and skill. In other words, your child could have fallen short of not excelling because they have not been braced with the skill of understanding. So when we're talking about wisdom, we're talking about application of acquired knowledge. So application of acquired knowledge demands skill. So when you understand how to do it well, you are going to be skilled in understanding, and you're going to execute as required of you. So God has not given us a spirit of wisdom. He has given us a fear, but has given us wisdom and self-control. When you feel like your mind is giving you and informing you of the stories of all the ill things that can happen, can you please have self-control and bring it back on the page and saying, no, I'm capable of doing this. I'm capable of excelling. Lord, grant me the wisdom. Give me the grace of wisdom. Give me the skill in understanding to be able to apply the knowledge that I've been equipped with correctly and accurately. Wisdom.
Proverbs
4:23.
4:23. Keep your heart with all vigilance, for from it flow the spirit, or the springs of life.
That's it. Now, I'll tell you, when you go into the world, the world will devour you. You go into a school space, it will devour you. Friends will devour you. And then they're telling you to keep. Now, there are things that you treasure, Edrine. Yeah? And you ensure that they are kept safely. I'll probably talk about your transcripts. Yeah? Because you need them. The way you keep them, the way you are mindful of them. Some of us even go ahead and what do we seal? We seal them. You guard it. This in the event. There is that file for your CV. Each time you are choosing to update your CV, you guard it. You have saved it on cloud. You have saved it where? You are you are there. You are guarding it. That is how we are meant to guard our thoughts. These thoughts should not speak anything that is contrary to what God has in mind for me. The mind of God speaks excellency, speaks perfection, speaks goodwill, speaks... What did God have in store for me when he chose to create me and grant me what he has granted me? Because what God has given you is not meant to satisfy you. Whatever God has given you is meant for his purposes. It's like when we talk about a mango tree. There is no mango tree that sits down and begin feeding on its fruits. We are the ones who come from wherever and feed on its fruits. So you are not meant to impact the world just in your family setting or in your church setting. You are here to impact the world. So God,
World over.
the world over. I am sending you to the world to be disciples in the whole world. To the ends of the earth.
Yeah.
For the time God has given you, for the opportunities God has availed you, let your mind be guarded with vigilance.
Canon, give us your closing remarks as you wind up this discussion.
That's it. Okay. My closing remarks.
Yes.
I think I'll still anchor into that. Because out of your heart flows all the issues of life. And when we are talking about issues of life, we're not talking only about the spiritual matters. We're talking about financial matters. We're talking about destiny. We're talking about family. We are talking about faith. We are talking about emotions. We are talking about transformation. Having that personal growth and development that gives us the excellency that God has designed for us.
Wow. Thank you so much, Canon Alice. And wow. So this is a tool, a very important tool that parents need to associate with, especially in such a season. But of course, it's been a pleasure. No, I mean, so it was a learning platform for all of us. And so we know what to do and how to deal with these little ones when they come back home. Edrine Mukalazi is my name. I've worked with Andrew. And in transmission, I've worked with Esther and Patience. From the entire team, we wish you a good night.